I went to Drexel University, and while I was a student there, I was living with my roommate at the time, John Burris. Shouts to John Burris. And it was me and him and his friend Christian. And those two were looking for a place to live, and I was like, so am I, can I tag along? And they were like, absolutely. And so we went through, we were on student housing, but then we were looking around at different apartments. And I got to give John credit for this one because he found this place. And we just liked the apartment and we liked the location. We didn't even know that there was a roof here. So we signed the lease, we get in, and then after we move in, John's like, have you been up to the roof? I go, no, I didn't even know we had one. So we go up and we check this place out. And immediately, just looking at that view behind us, I was like, damn, this is something special. Like, at minimum, we got to get some people up here just to have a good old time, you know? The way it got started was I had seen a band playing in Drexel Park, and I saw them, and I was like, hey, guys, they were playing a Strokes song. They were playing Last Night by the Strokes. And I was like, hey, guys, do you want to come up onto my roof and jam? Because I'm a musician, too, and I'd love to have you guys. Maybe you can invite some of your friends. And we didn't have anything. Like, we didn't have PA systems. We just had, like, a couple amps and, like, a microphone directly into one PA. But, like, no, like, mixing console, no backline, no mics, none of that. So we come up and we play it for, like, probably 5 or 10 people, just, like, friends of theirs, and we're hanging out. I was like, oh, that was really, really cool. I want to do that again.
I mean, we're beyond proud of him. We watched him at the beginning of COVID start picking up the guitar, even before that. Before that, he did a lot of voice lessons because he was in plays in school and just watched his voice develop. But then when he started picking up an instrument, it was really quite remarkable. He would play down in our basement, and all of a sudden, like, who is down there? Is that Joe? It was really remarkable how he just picked up every instrument that he was concentrating.
What really, when he took his whole confidence level to another level, was when he got involved in musical theater at Springford, and that he just gravitated towards it, and he loves the stage, and the stage loves him, and the spotlight. So there was that, and there was that element to it. But he's always been fearless. I mean. And you can't really teach that. I think he gets a lot of that from his mother.
I was just kind of playing around at the time as a musician. I was playing at this place called The Gem in Spring City, which is close to where I grew up. And I saw this man working behind the counter.
So The Gem, like you said, it's a theater in Spring City. Joe and I know each other from high school separately. Hadn't seen him at this point in maybe like 4 or 5 years. And I was working in the kitchen, and he came up because he was playing, and we were just talking a little bit, catching up. And he kind of just mentioned that he had this rooftop, that he used to throw parties on and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, I do concerts up there. You guys should come play sometime. So I was in a band at the time with a guy who, wherever we went, he would drag all of his sound stuff with him and make sure that we sounded good, even if we were just playing in someone's basement.
Yeah, Mr. Nate Fitz.
Yeah.
Nate Fitzgerald.
And so naturally Nate was like, yeah, we're not going direct into the PA. I'm going to bring my console. We're going to mic everything up. We're going to mix everything, and we're going to make it super professional. And so the first show we did with that group, I Love Annie, up here, we just made it super professional, made it sound really good, and made it look really good with some lights and stuff. And that's kind of how I think it really got started up.
Well, that was our first real show, right? So when I hit up that band in Drexel Park to come and play, like, it was just kind of fun, and it wasn't something very serious, and I didn't think it would be. But yeah, as Chase had mentioned, I had been following his band that he was in at the time, and they had been playing these awesome venues. I was like, I would love to have you guys up on the roof. They never told me that they were bringing all this equipment. They just did. And so I was up here, and they were setting everything up. I was like, wow, this is fucking nuts. Like, this is wild. And they set everything up. So they brought everything. It felt like a real stage. They brought a shit ton of people. And Nate Fitz, their front man, who also brought all the gear, and one of our closest friends. I love that man to death. That dude just literally crushed it. I mean, it was maybe one of the coolest rock shows I've ever seen in my life. And I was so blown away, and it was just so magical in that moment that I was like, wow, we got to do this again, you know? Mm-hmm. So, and thus we've been doing it ever since. Like, that was magical, and it was a beautiful day too. I mean, just the whole experience was like, wow. And I knew I had to kind of keep doing it. But we kind of just kept the ball rolling, and then more and more we would find other bands that I had either played with or just people that had been recommended to me, and we'd book them and start getting real pro bills on there. and we started creating a ticketing system, and I hired a photographer, and so now it is everything that it is today.
When it started out, it was just like a house party, and then we brought all the sound stuff, and then it became, okay, it sounds good now. But now we have, 75, 80 to 100 people showing up to the show. Okay, we probably need to be carding people now, because it's like we can't have underage people in here causing a problem. So, okay, we need to do that. Okay, we should probably put something up, with your phone number, just to make sure no situations happen that make people uncomfortable or anything like that. And if anything does happen, we take care of it.
Yeah.
And, just like kind of adding stuff over time and kind of just adding as we go and figuring it out in general.
There were some recommendations that people made to me more and more and they were looking out for my best interest, just things that I never really thought about. So like those signs in the bathrooms where it's like, if you need anything or if you're feeling uncomfortable, you can shoot me a text. That was a recommendation that that one of my friend's girlfriends had made to me. And it was just something I never thought about. But then when you put them up, it really provides that extra element of just kind of knowing that when you're here, you can be accommodated to, if need be, at any ready moment, which is really helpful. But just making sure that it's as professional and welcoming of an environment as possible, and that everybody's acting right, and make sure that they feel safe, and that all the neighbors are aware and that they're cool with it. I mean, it's this cool confluence of circumstances where you got a lot of people that are kind of accepting of all of this in a way that they don't have to be. So it's really a blessing in that way. And we just want to make sure everybody knows what the plan is, but then also has a really good time. And so it's really a communal effort, which I think is, to me, like the thing that warms my heart every single time, because there's so many people that just come together and make this a thing that's so beautiful and so meaningful and impactful. And that's really resonated with all the bands that have played here, because they're like, this is one of the best shows I've ever played at any venue. And anybody who wants to come, they look at it and they go, damn, this is different, in that way. But a lot of that just goes to everybody who, hauls stuff up here, our bouncer who keeps everybody safe, just everybody who makes it the experience that it is.
I have to say also, I play in other projects that play a lot of house venues and things like that, and his was by far kind of the most polished I've seen a house venue. Like, they had a really good sound system. The person running sound really knew what they were doing. They were really just nice, chill. Place was clean. They had food there. They had sandwiches and cookies and all that stuff. You could really tell that they were trying to kind of elevate the space a little bit more. It's like, okay, yeah, this is a rooftop, but I mean, you're getting a really good kind of concert going experience, So I mean, props to Joe and all the other people that kind of help run that space. They do a really good job.
I mean, I think the essence of a house venue that has a higher production standard in regards to, it's on a roof, there's good sound and everything. I think there's a lot of value in that. So yeah, I would recommend it.
It was easy. I mean, I was a little bit stressed out on my end, trying to just kind of round out because we were doing a Northeast tour. And so we had a New York day, we had a Connecticut day, Boston, Providence, and we had never played that far out in Philly. So I was really I was kind of scrambling to get that day filled. So, a little bit of pressure on our end, but he made it really easy. He's a great guy. Made it really fun and easy for us to get a date locked in. And, I love working together with venues to get a proper date locked at the right time. And, he made it really easy and smooth.
Yeah, I mean, so with the DIY scene, that's kind of the fun shows to play. So basements or wherever, roofs in this instance. So we reached out to a lot of them just to find gigs to play in the underground. And I found the roof. I saw pictures of it. Thought it was cool. Yeah, 100%. So I reached out to Joe Free, the guy who runs it, personally, and I was like, hey, I'd love to play. And then he listened to our music. He said, yeah, let's do it. So he's the man.
Yeah.
So when I reached out to him personally, he was like, let's do it. And then he had a date the first time. He gave me his phone number. And he was like, yo, give me a call. And he talked to me for 20 minutes about everything involved, from start to finish. Easiest dude to work with. So I just feel with DIY, it's usually you show up, there's you know what time you're playing, and that's like it. You kind of just have fun. Whereas that, I just feel like, I don't know, they sell tickets and whatever. It's like from start to finish, like they promote the hell out of every show. They get good acts and everything. They put you with other bands that kind of match what you're playing. Whereas other spots, it's like we have 4 bands, we're gonna put it on. Whereas that one, I feel like it's more curated.
It was great. Like a lot of times the DIY venues are really, they're not good with like communicating, or they don't really have the gear, and it's like always a stress. But the rooftop is like, I love them because they're known for like always having things like together and being really good with communicating and making sure like everyone knows what to do in terms of parking and like what gear to bring and what times to be there and all that stuff.
I think it was pretty easy. We were just like, hey, like, we gotta go last. I just requested that we went last because we had a gig at the shore during the day, and he was super accommodating. He was like, yeah, you're just gonna just bring the house down and go last.
It was pretty pain-free. We actually, our initial show got rained out, so we were booked for May 2024. And right before we started playing, we were, I believe, the 3rd or 4th band. It started raining, and we got rained out. But Joe was quick to rebook us, and we eventually did get to play. So, yeah, no, it worked out really, really good, and he was really cool about everything, and it was a positive experience for sure.
It is small cap. It's 100 people. So, you know, and the main thing that makes it really work and makes it so special is the fact that everybody does behave themselves and they, you know, look out for each other, and they can have a good time without being super rowdy or disrespectful. And so when it comes to the roof in that regard, like, one, we're watching you to make sure that you're doing it proper. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But 2, if you are, we'll give you anything you want. Like, we'll make it like the best, most encompassing experience that we can.
Basically, don't be a dick.
Yeah, effectively, you know. But you know, we've had very, very rare instances of that ever being a problem, and even when it is, we
take care of it.
Yeah, like very quickly.
It's really, this whole thing is not so much about making money, you know. It's more just kind of like trying to build something that's communal and provides a good experience for the artists, and is something that we can all just look forward to and feel good about without worrying about making a lot of cash out of it, you know.
Like they did a good job of advertising and like really getting the show out there to the public and getting a lot of heads there.
We haul all this gear up here, and we're very tired and sweaty before we start playing. So, but that's kind of nice because you're in a rolling momentum. But if you play somewhere else, you don't have as much to worry about. And you get exposed to different kinds of fans and audiences. So I'd say they're about equal, but I think in some ways I really prefer playing the roof.
I think it's like the roof's like kind of like having like a home game, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's like you know, it's always nice to kind of get back, touch home base, and then go back out after. Yeah.
Plus,
Absolutely.
look at this view.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Like
Straight up.
seriously, art museum, Boathouse Row, skyscrapers. You can't ask for more. You cannot ask for more. Come to the roof.
Here, I mean, it's been humbling, first of all, to see Joe and his band and how they've grown, but also how kind and welcoming all of his contemporaries are to us. You know, because obviously we're old, but we've never been made to feel uncomfortable or unwelcome or awkward, and so that, I mean, that's sort of on the margins, I suppose. But I think it just speaks to the whole quality of the people that come to these shows and who the people he hangs out with and who his friends hang out with, and you know the different degrees of freedom from the center, and it's very encouraging actually, and it's very humbling.
But for me, more and more, the vision for 2025 is have the best gigs, but then also we record all their audio, we take their video, and now their photography as well. So they kind of get like a media kit out of it, which is nice. So when they come up and play, we record their live set, and it's videotaped, and it's shot on film, or it's shot with a photographer. So then when they get to do that, they get to use promo for it later. For a lot of these up-and-coming bands who constantly are looking for that level of like that X factor or something that they can put onto social media or something that they can use to promote themselves, this is a great opportunity to do that. So we've just tried to step up our game and give back to the artists in that way. The roof, to be honest, it's probably in my opinion, and this is not just something that I think it's been told to me, it's probably one of the best venues to go out and have a good time in Philadelphia.
I would say if any bands have the opportunity to work with Joe or get on the roof, or if any, live music fans have the chance to go to the roof, definitely just do it. Because, these small venues, these like house shows, they're gems, They come and go. So I don't see the roof going anywhere anytime soon, but, go while you can. And, if you have the opportunity to play there, definitely take it. It's a great time.
I think the location of the rooftop is really like kind of perfect the way. It's just kind of very scenic the way the bands are in front of the skyline like that.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was probably our favorite stop on our mini tour. The community there was awesome, and we had never been to Philly. I don't think any of us had been to Philly. It was a great time. We showed up, and just the concept of having a concert on a roof is pretty cool. It's very cool. Playing up there with the city skyline in the background. It's kind of a once in a lifetime experience. It was amazing.
The weather was beautiful. We got away with it. So
the views are breathtaking.
Yeah, the coolest place in Philly, in my opinion, that we've had the opportunity to play, like by a long shot.
Hell yeah!
Get there. Just get there. You gotta definitely live that experience because even when he booked that first one back here in 2024, every show you can be like, well, what's this gonna be like? What's that gonna be like? And that guy said it's by far top, maybe 10 or something like that, whatever you want to put it as.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about like the underground scene. That's like the most established one I feel like we've played at. Like it's just their shit. If I can I say that? Okay, yeah, their shit's just like together, which is very, very nice.
Honestly, probably one of the best things I've ever experienced. The view is incredible. Again, the people are incredible. The audience was very lively, and I mean, everyone was just absolutely amazing and really feeling all of the bands too.
And they're great guys. It's a great experience too to be able to play outdoors. There's not a lot of venues that do that, especially like on a rooftop with such a great view behind you.
It was such a fun night. I mean, the vibes were great because everyone was happy that the weather was great and this view of the skyline looked phenomenal, and we just like let it rip. It was a really great experience. It was Joe's homemade venue is honestly one of the favorite gigs that we've had, over the years because it's just very special. I mean, the one great thing about Joe's place is it's not grungy basement college parties are awesome and fun, but they have a whole nother realm of just awesomeness just being on the roof. So, and the sound is great too. Sometimes DIY shows sound can be ass, but their sound is great. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is that because of community independent run events like Joe's, it helps local bands get a lot of notoriety to do shows like Milkboy.
He's a remarkable young man.
Yeah, we're very proud, we're very humbled, and we love him very much.
Joe's a great guy.
Joe is a great guy.
Get booked at the rooftop. It's a good venue.
Along with the rooftop, definitely check out all the other DIY venues in Philly. There's such a great scene there happening right now. A lot of younger student bands, really talented musicians are coming out.
Come to the roof or you're lame.